All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics, in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions, respectfully brings to you the Four Tales podcast. I'm your host, Kyron Silva, respectively from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the respectful author of Ace Blade, Dan J. Quick, and together we are your two award-winning, respectful Blurred comic creators here to help you respectfully find your next favorite comic. We are respectfully live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and a host of other programs. So if you are listening or watching us live, respectfully, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast respectfully. Damn it, you had to laugh. All your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. Respectfully.
Oh. Respectfully. Brother, Kyron, how you been doing?
I had that until I looked over and saw you like about to burst. So.
Bruh, that dude is amazing though. Yeah. Like, if y'all don't know what Kyron is referencing, there's a artist on TikTok who uses Photoshop and After Effects to kind of animate still pictures and respectfully them. And he did one for Wakanda Forever when that poster dropped, and he kept using respectfully, and it was hilarious. So but yeah, shout out to him. He recently did JID's album cover too. He was commissioned to do JID's album cover for his latest project, The Forever Story. So shout out to all artists all over the world, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Make the world go round, and I wish I could be more like y'all.
I see you practicing though. I saw that Spider-Man. Even though TikTok doesn't show me your videos, I searched you out and I saw your Spider-Man. It was good.
It'd be like that, man. Brad, how you doing, man? Good morning. So how you been doing, Kyron? What's been going on with you?
I'm all right. I've been a little frustrated with you though. Yeah, your disrespect. Yeah. I was gonna bring this clip up, but I saw your most recent podcast you did, and I saw how you had a question presented to you: who would win a battle between lumberjacks and Saw the Lightning Wielder?
Me,
and your answer was very frustrating. And
why? I was being honest.
You said at this moment, Saw the Lightning Wielder would take lumberjacks. But in 5 years, lumberjacks would take her easily.
Hey,
and my frustration is that is saying that Saw would also not get better, get stronger. You're assuming that she can't grow, basically, and that's not cool, man.
No. This is just based on my current knowledge. I know where lumberjacks is going in the next 5. Like I've seen the plans for lumberjacks in the next 5 years, because the creator of lumberjacks trusts me enough to tell me things, so because I have intimate knowledge of where lumberjacks power set is going, I know that it's going to be amazing. Now the creator of Saw the Lightning Wielder doesn't have that same trust in me. Like we don't have that same connection. They just he just doesn't trust me to have. I mean, I understand I'm team spoiler alert, and sometimes
you are.
But just from the knowledge that I have, I know that lumberjack's gonna be a problem in about 5 years. I can tell you that for sure.
So in Thor: Love and Thunder, we had the God Killer, the God Butcher.
Yep.
Lumberjacks need to bring him to take Saw out. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
It still would be a fairly easy battle for Saw, but
oh wow,
lumberjacks need to bring some help. That's all I'm saying. Even in 5 years.
I would love to see it. I'm trying to put lumberjacks up against all the powerhouses. They had the freestyle comics Kahoot last night, and Lumberjacks and Vigilance were neck and neck at 40% for who would win that battle royale. So I'm trying to put Lumberjacks up against Saw, up against Vigilance, because Ace Blade don't want them problems. Me and Ace Blade is more of a
you the anti-Batman.
Y'all have that. y'all do that. Let me handle the Joker and the Riddler and them. I'm not dealing with y'all out here shooting the lightning at people. You got lightning? I'm not messing with y'all.
Okay.
But yeah, man. But we're not here to talk about us. We're here to talk about amazing creators and folks that we love to have conversations with. And our guest this week is kind of interesting because of what's been happening in the last couple of weeks. But more interesting because he's the hardest working man in comics.
He is. He's the host with the most. He world-renowned writer and creator. He's a father figure.
Yeah.
We found that out. He's also willing to go to jail for these kids, which is,
Yeah.
All right, I'll stop messing around. Who we have on our show today is the one, the only Victor Dandridge. And if I can bring him on, all right. What's up, Victor? How you
What's
doing?
going on, fellas? What's going on? You're right, though. I am willing to go to jail for my kids, man. Don't, not the babies. Not the babies. I've told them for years I ain't never been to jail, but I'm not scared to go back. And they're like, how can you go back? I'm like, that.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about that.
Just don't put us in that situation.
Don't worry about
just don't do that to us. Don't do that to us. That's all.
Just don't put me in that situation where I have to, and that's all we have to worry about.
That's all I'm asking.
Right,
yes. Big shout out to my daughter Hera. She turned 13 yesterday. So
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, Daddy's doing big push-ups. Okay, I've been at the gym for that very reason. My daughter's 13. Okay. I'm just saying. Never been a 2A guy before, but I might be now. I'm just
gotta do it.
just letting it be known how it is in this world. But no, thank you guys for having me on. No, I'm super excited. And I'm so glad that you talked about the controversy because I know we're going to talk about that. We have to talk about that. Man, listen, I'm still peeling the poo out of my shoes that I stepped in. I had no idea what I had stepped in on that one. Oh, my goodness.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. First, of course, we got to let you introduce yourself for the people who may not know. I would be surprised if anybody in our audience doesn't know who you are already.
There are people that don't know.
We've had some huge guests on this show, but to me, you're one of the biggest, probably the biggest guest that we've had on here, man.
Facts.
You had Eric Larson on here. You cannot say that. Come on.
Legit. We had the Eric Larson on here.
It's Eric, and then you're like right underneath him. Just
okay. I'll take that. I will take that. Hey, respectfully.
And then it was Dan Fraga, and then
respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully.
But give our audience a little intro. Tell us who you are and what you create.
Of course. So I'm Victor Dandridge, known as the hardest working man in comics. I'm a phenomenological narratologist. That's officially been a title for the last 2 years because what I do is I teach storytelling, the art of things like that through my You Create Comics line. I'm also a self-publishing creator through my imprint Vantage In-House Productions, which I've been full-time self-publishing. In 1 month, it'll be 12 years full-time doing Vantage In-House stuff. And that's the home of such works like The Samaritan, The Trouble with Love, Origins Unknown, and the very successful Kickstarter that we just did for WonderCare Presents The Kindergartens that funded last month. So yeah, super excited. Super
The Samaritan, you just had a movie come out, right?
Okay, stop that.
How was it working with Sylvester Stallone?
Listen. Man, let me tell y'all,
are we going to see you in Expendables Part 5? What?
If I had $1 for every person that asked me about that movie, I'd be able to afford so much. Me and Bezos we'd be rolling together on that one, bro. Because man, everybody's like, "That's you, right?"
I got angry. I got legit angry when I saw it.
I know you.
I was like, "Bruh, like, why would they?" And a lot of comics, there's 100 Titans. There's 100, okay, cool. But for the Samaritan, I was like, no. They cannot be stealing my boys. Okay. He had the hoodie. He had the hoodie on in the promo. Mm-hmm. In the promo, he's got the hoodie on.
I promise you that is not taken from me at all. There is a comic series written by Bragi Schrute, art by Mark Ollivant that came out in 2014. Granted, it was a year after our book, but it came out as a very different character, very different storyline, not based on my stuff at all. Not at all. But
there's still a lot of similarities. So I got to ask,
Sure.
are we going to sue? And
No.
you see, I said we because I want part
Yeah, I
of
know
this
you
too.
put that in there. You put that in there. No, you know what? And it's funny too because I had that question asked. Even my father was like, "Let's go to court with it." I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that." And he's like, "Well, why not?" And I said, "One, here's how I look at this in terms of market structure. When a movie like this comes out that's similar to a product that I have, it is a test market venture. That's how I look at it. So if it works, then I'm like, okay, then there's some things that we can kind of put pieces in place that we can, move in that direction. If it doesn't work, I've kept my property protected. Like mine is not directly associated with the failure of whatever this might be. So I can actively use other people's moves to better gauge how I can move. Right now, I think that it did successful enough that we can really kind of push forward and go, okay, well, let's look at how can we bring our series, The Samaritan, into this market, because we know that there's some audience for it in this regard. So how do we do that? The other thing for me is when you do stuff like that, when you take that legal action route, you are closing doors for yourself. And a lot of people don't realize it that way. They're like, well, no, I'm right. But you are actively closing doors. We had the same conversation when Luke Cage came out. And the first 3 episodes of Luke Cage are almost verbatim The Samaritan. Like, almost verbatim. And I had people ask me, like, yo, you going to sue them? Am I going to sue Netflix and Disney? No, not even. Like, that's silly. That's frivolous on my part. If I do that, one, I can never work for Netflix or with Netflix. I can never work with or for Disney. And that equates to Marvel. So if I want to ever do that, then I close those doors. I don't want that. Number 2, I can still say and have for years, Luke Cage is a multi-million-dollar commercial for The Samaritan, and I didn't have to pay for it. If you like The Samaritan, or if you like Luke Cage, you'll love The Samaritan. Like, I get to say that. Nobody can stop me. And then also, as part of my realm of being at Comic-Cons and being a celebrity moderator, I've gotten to work with Mike Coulter, Luke Cage himself, which I would never get to do if I sued them. I've got to work with Theo Rossi, who played Shades, who was a friend of mine now. Like, because we work together, he's a friend. We share work. Like, never would have gotten those opportunities if I had gone for the legal, oh, you took my stuff route, as opposed to, I'm going to just fall back and I'm going to see how I can use this. That's really my vibe.
I like that. There was a guy on Facebook that was just throwing out cease and desist letters a couple years ago for anything that popped up. And I was
Ridiculous.
like, you're burning bridges, dude. You're just burning a bunch of bridges.
Like,
just
flame. Like, you're like, wow.
That's a lesson I learned early too about building bridges instead of burning them. Like you really never know who's watching you.
Right.
And you never know who is aware of your content and how connected the industry is, right?
Yes.
There's bad parts about that, but there's really good parts about that too. Mm-hmm. I was involved in some controversy early in my creativity, like, and I thought I was just, I'm looking out for my homeboy. They had some issues with a creator, and I was like, nah, if they would have read their contract, they would have did the right, they wouldn't have done what they did, such and such. And I'm speaking up, thinking I got the back of my homeboy, and I had several people that were like really top tier people, reach out to me and say, hey, don't get involved with it, like, don't put yourself out there. People kind of see you as a decent person, so don't go out here bashing people online, because that's more harmful to me as a creator than it is helpful to my homeboy at the time. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful, man, and you got to kind of really weigh your options when it comes to stuff like that. So you were talking about your all your celebrity friends. I feel you drop that. I felt that drop there.
That's gonna drop a lot.
I'm just gonna humble brag.
Since you brought them up, I'm gonna ask you, who is your favorite? Like, who is your favorite celebrity that you've met? Like, give me your top 2 celebrities that you've met.
Top two
on the concert. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Wait.
I almost gotta give first. Yeah,
but that's sort of a quick question there.
No. That's a different.
This is different. This is different. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I gotta give first shout out to my very first guest that I ever worked with was Sebastian Stan. That was crazy because, like I said, it was the very first time I'd ever done this. Shout out to Wizard World. It was Tulsa 2016. We're coming off of Civil War, so big deal, happening right there. And they were like, "Hey, would you moderate a celeb. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Who you got? And they're like, Sebastian Stan. I'm like, your marquee person? You want me to do that as my first?
The guy? You want me to?
Okay,
the white
okay,
wolf.
I guess, right? Like that's what. All right, cool. That's what we doing. So, I got to give him mad love for that because he was great to work with. I know, Javon. I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
No, he knew Javon. He just.
I did not know. I did not know.
He knew.
That's terrible. Come on. But I ended up getting to a space with him where, okay, this is a brag. They actually had me as a part of his contract, where if he was at a Wizard World show, I had to be his moderator. Like,
wow,
and
damn.
to earn that spot in just a couple of years with him was just wonderful, right? Come on, man. Come on. Don't say that, Stokes. Come on, bro. Man. Come on. If I had known you was there, we would have been rolling. That's on me. I didn't realize who all was there. That's my problem. That was my problem.
He's the hardest working man in comics for a reason, Javon. It's hard to get in his schedule.
Javon, you gotta. So I'm gonna give you the inside details. You gotta contact his agent, and his agent has to contact his manager, and then you can get in contact with Vic. Okay,
that is the
I'll
worst.
give you the agent's phone number. I don't have the manager's phone number, but I'll give you the agent's phone number.
It's terrible.
But no.
Just so you know, his agent is now Sebastian Stan. After all.
Yeah, because my manager is my 5-year-old. She's the manager. She's the one that's like, nah, Dad, you ain't got that. No. We've got a play date too.
No,
and then we're going to the library. You got it.
Not 3:30. Not 3:30. You can't do that. No. But no, man. I just love like the whole journey, man, and seeing you work the shows, and we've had debates on multiple social outlets.
Yes.
About the approach. You know, you're one of the biggest opposition versus my conventions are a scam. Conventions are a scam campaign.
I mean, I have a very different experience, you know,
yes,
and that's what I always try to speak with, is what my experience has been and how that can shape how other people's perspectives can be on that experience. That's what I always try to aim for. For
sure, and I think both things are helpful, and you know I love talking about anything, man. All conversation, I believe,
of course,
can be helpful.
Absolutely.
And you know, coming from the perspective of me, you know, a indie creator who, you know, I'm a super local guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I do shows from Carolina, Virginia, Atlanta. Like that's my little wheelhouse right there. You know what I'm saying?
Calling you out, bro. He calling you out hard.
No, that's not it. That's not it. My whole perspective was that if you are just getting into the game, if you're an indie creator and you don't have the content, it's going to be harder for you to make money at shows. But to Victor's point, if you can figure out how to work with the shows, you know, that's the easier way to be able to make that money back. You can then develop a relationship with, you know, whether it's a small show or a big show. You can if you can show them your value, then it'll be easier for you to make that money back. And you know, it's not even always about making money. It's about the connections that you can make and the opportunities that you can gain from things like that. So like I said, man, the conversation is definitely worth having.
It's always worth having. I think that's, even in opposition, discussions are important because in every way, shape, or form, again, as long as it's respectful, you can learn something even from somebody's opposite point of view. And I think that's the thing, like with what you're talking about, Danny, I think one of the best rebuttals could be in terms of not focusing on making that relationship happen with a convention, but making relationships happen with other creators. So then there is a lesser expense overall because you've now networked with a series of creators that are like, yo, let's band together and let's do this, and this. And it makes it easier for everybody. You know, there's less hotel expense. Not everybody's driving. Like, it's all kinds of things where there's different ways for you to approach that one problem. But if you don't identify the problem, no one talks about it. And then it just kind of becomes this looming, you know, cloud over everybody, and nobody advances except for a select few that have played the game a little differently. And everybody else gets to sit there and go, well, how come they're moving up and I'm not? This is why, because they're not having a conversation. So I always appreciate when you throw something out there, especially when it's a good challenge, because it's worth the conversation.
I'm all about the challenge.
That's the Ace Blade way, baby. That's how you do it.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
You underdog it. You're like, well, so I'm gonna say this thing and see what happens. Let's do it. Let's
see what,
I like it. I like it.
Terrible.
I like it.
Now, my understanding is that you're starting a Patreon. Is that correct?
Yes, I did start one. I started one last month.
Okay. And all this knowledge that you have, is that something that we're going to get as part of this Patreon?
Absolutely. In fact, that's part of the reason why I wanted to do it. As a writer, a lot of people don't see Patreons work very well for writers. And I'm like, nah, there's got to be a way, right? There's got to be a way. And for me, it's a matter of keeping myself on a very strict regimen of output. You know, how do I, respond for people, do things for people, and have people hold me accountable for what I'm trying to put out into the market. I think that's the two-way street of being a writer on Patreon is like, I'm going to give you content. This content is to teach and educate you, but you're holding me accountable for what I'm teaching and educating. So yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joanne has a question. Are you going to be at Baltimore Comic-Con?
So we'll see. I've never done Baltimore. Like all the shows I've ever done, I've never done Baltimore, and I hear great things about it. So I might try to, finagle showing up in some way, shape, or form. I'm gonna work on that. Definitely.
Have you done Dallas? Dallas?
No. In fact, I'm actually doing the Dallas Fan Fest in October. That'll be the first one that I'm at. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. What is your do you have the Patreon handy?
Damn, I hate that neither one of you guys got that joke. Damn it.
I didn't. I'm sorry, because I was like, did you just do a Debbie Does Dallas reference?
Yes.
Like, I was trying not to speak on that because I'm not trying to seem like a heathen. You terrible person. You're terrible. I was like,
every time, man.
Listen, it's not even 10:30 yet. He dropping porn references.
Kyron,
like,
already
7:30 for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Man,
terrible.
But in Cali, y'all nasty.
I will not deny that in any way.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, go ahead, Danny. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to share the Vantage. It is the Vantage in-house Patreon. I got the link here. I'm going to share it.
It's on
patreon.com/HWMIC. That's
there you go.
That's what.
Okay.
Super easy.
When trying what? You said trip. Wow.
Yo, I'll be honest. If I was in this position, I wouldn't say I'm a professional comic creator. No, that's not what I would say. I would just say I'm a writer. Start with I'm a writer.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's always the thing.
That does it.
The specificity of what I'm writing, that's further conversation. If I say I'm a writer, oh, what are you writing? Okay, now the game begins. Like that's the second layer of the game. Okay.
Well, have you heard of Spider-Man? Have you heard of Spider-Man?
You know what I'm saying? Have you heard of Spider-Man? You heard of Batman? I don't write those, but
have you seen the Samaritan? Have you seen the Samaritan? Okay, well, something like that. So like that.
I'm not saying I'm the guy, but I'm the guy behind the guy, behind that guy.
I am a guy. That's what we're trying to say.
Terrible.
All right. Wait, what? Okay, I just opened up this, didn't I? Back a single day, I just say I'm an artist.
I mean,
it's your fault. It's your fault, Kyron.
Hey,
you did.
All right.
All right. So I wanted to ask, what are some things that people can look forward to on your Patreon?
Okay, so some of the biggest things, first and foremost, are the scripts that I put up. So anything that I've published, I'm actively putting up the script for as a regular series post. Because I want to create an archive of showcasing what people can learn from me, right? So it'll be a showcase of the scripts. They can go through those, read those, see my process, my formatting, any of that style stuff that they might want to exhibit for themselves. But then they also will get some behind the scene features. So like right now, I'm actually doing we'll call it a rewatch of my unconventional video review series that's on YouTube. And I'm responding with kind of updates on how well the content upholds, all as a lead up to what will be the third season of Unconventional, what Patreon will get first. So looking at different ways to get into the comic book business and how to manage being in the business right now versus what I started off with in this conversation 8 years ago. So it's really about like, let's just talk about process. Let's talk about what it means to be in this business, how to create things like that. Appreciate you, bro. But that's really what it's all about, is how do I showcase my process? Because by teaching others, I fully get understanding. That's what I'm about.
And you get paid.
That too. But see, that's the funny thing though, right? So with this Patreon, the thing that I really want to, and I literally just put this post up, the thing that I'm using the Patreon money for first is to fund other Patreons. I want to use this thing to kind of go, well, who else is creating some stuff that I need to be watching and learning from? So once I hit, I want to say it's $100 on there, and we're at like 35. I want to start taking a percentage of what's coming in and start funding other people's Patreons because I want to support other people creating. It's always a matter of keeping the cycle going. It's not just, oh, what can I get? What can I get? How can I put this back into the marketplace, get other people creating? Obviously, the other side of what I make on Patreon goes towards my new projects. So it's still going to be about funding other people's work, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that I directly benefit from. I just want to get some people, give an opportunity. That's basically it.
I love it. I'm not a huge Patreon, like I'm not on that platform a lot, but your page and I want to say Indie Comic Dispatches are two that I support and I want to continue to see grow, man. Y'all always provide valuable content and I love to learn. I'm still learning in this game, and I wish you all the luck in that, man. So,
thank you.
And if you want to support us, we do have a Patreon for Four Tails Podcast. We just don't post on that. I know. We do, but we don't support it. We don't do nothing with it. But you can go to our website, fourtailspodcast.com, and get our merch, like this amazing mug.
Yo, that's definitely getting done.
Okay.
That's
like
terrible, bro.
Nah, plug, baby,
I'm
plug.
horrible at that. Right?
Plug.
Right.
Come on.
I legit did not know we have a Patreon. Bro.
We do have a Patreon. I don't put anything up on there. It was one of the things like I gotta make sure I set things up before nobody takes it.
There you go. I got you. Hey,
there you
I
go.
appreciate
I agree.
that. Definitely.
I agree.
We'll get
Thank
there.
you.
Kyron embezzling the Patreon money under Danny. I'm embezzling 0 out of 0. Yep.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Hey, Kyron, I'm all for it.
He's got the flag planted though. You gotta have that.
Any money that comes into our podcast, whether it be from listens, likes, or people buying our merch, Danny has definitely gotten his share of it. Definitely. It's not a lot, but Danny's gotten his share.
I definitely got that $4 check. I definitely got.
Oh man!
But no, I wanted to ask you about something because I know you don't got a lot of time, but I wanted to ask you about your new office hours policy. I saw you did a post recently about office hours and just what is the concept of that and how is it going so far?
So again, part of that idea of accountability was what I wanted, right? And being a person that's working from home before COVID, right? You end up getting into this trap of I'm in a comfortable space all the time. And I can work when I want to. And because this is my passion, I do work a lot, but I kind of want to look at things and say, how can I get more work out by having a dedicated series of hours that are like, hey, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do this. And I was playing around with it for a little while, and I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. Like, school's about to be back in session. All of my kids are school aged. Either they're in school age or they graduate and they're working. So I can have a time frame in the middle of the day that is just dedicated to getting work out, and it's perfect because it keeps me on point, right? So from 10 to 2 Eastern Standard Time is my governing work hours, and I have it broken down where the first hour is what I call my B story work. Some things that I can kind of work at a little bit, nothing really major that I'm supposed to do. And then for an hour and a half after that, that is my project A. Like, what's the thing I really want to accomplish this week? And that's what I'm going to work on for this hour and a half every day that week. And then in the last half hour is just kind of what little things I can, kind of clean up, piddly, whatever, if I'm responding to emails. But it gives me like this very set rubric of getting things done. And in the last week and a half, and it's kind of funny because we actually had a teacher strike the first week of school. So it kind of threw off my plan, but still managed to maintain it. But the first week and a half has been phenomenal. I've got a process when it comes to my social media. I don't know if you guys have ever played around with this, but like with Twitter, you can actually schedule your tweets, right? Yep. So you can schedule those. So on Sundays, I actually take the time to schedule, like I make a plan. This is what I'm going to talk about on Twitter this week. And I schedule these, specific tweets. This past week, it was all about promoting the Patreon. So I did like a couple of videos and set those things up. And so it just kind of keeps things happening. And what's really amazing is like during my work hours, while I'm working, I might get responses to the tweets that I've set up, and that still work for me, right? So I can take a social media break, but it's because I'm responding to something that I already set up, instituted, and it's still part of work. So I'm not like losing time farting around on social media. I'm like, oh no, this is a bona fide interruption. Okay, well, and I go right back into work, because keeping that synergistic flow for me is like one of the best things, and I'm creating more work because of it. One of the other things that I have to be honest about as to why I did this is because the time frame for my first look deal is coming up. So last year I signed a first look deal for Envisions Productions. Everything that I write and have published.
I was going to bring that up. We was going to talk about that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Everything I've written and published under Envisions Productions is up for a first look deal, which means that it can be developed for movies, animation, TV series, video games, all kinds of stuff. I want to make sure that deal is worth it. So I'm going to actively create as much content as I possibly can. In some regards, that means taking some things that I had intended to do as comic books and writing them as prose first, just so that they're in the market. So that way I can go, okay, well, it's done. It's out here. And if you guys want this, let's start developing right now. Boom, 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 boom. Then I can take it and go, okay, we've got some eyes on it. Now I want to make this into a comic. Now I have more leverage to talk to an artist when I go, okay, look, I want you to adapt this series into a comic book. Yes, it has this studio attached, or it has this development team attached to it. Let that govern how we're gonna talk about financing. Like, okay, I'll give you a percentage of ownership, but I'm only gonna pay you this much because I'm giving you a percentage of ownership, which will equate to X amount of dollars on the back end. Blah blah blah. These are the things that I now can do and leverage myself and my name, my brand, to get more work out. And so that's what I'm actively trying to do, is position myself so I can create more stuff so that more people can do as many things with it as they want to.
Just to go back on your response as far as Twitter, I don't know if you knew this also, but on Facebook Meta, you can now schedule your posts for Facebook and Instagram there too.
That's awesome. I need that. Yeah.
All right, we got a couple questions here real quick, and then we're going to go to quick takes. So was this first one? Brad says, did you recently sit down with the 8 Billion Genies creator? I have really enjoyed that series.
It is a phenomenal series. I sat down with Ryan, the artist, at C2E2. We did it was supposed to be a showcase on Chicago creators, and he was the only one that showed up. So it just was on him. And it was amazing too, because it was right after the announced acquisition deal by Amazon. And so there was a lot of people that were like, well, I haven't heard of 8 Billion Genies. And so he sold a bunch of books, like as we were talking about it after that panel. So it was great. Big shout out to Ryan. He's a phenomenal artist and a great dude. Big love to him.
All right,
I love it, man.
Question
the
here.
concept of 8 Billion Genies is great too.
It's a phenomenal story. Never been in Japan, but it's on my bucket list.
Okay.
Definitely.
You haven't been to Japan, man? Come on.
Not been in Japan. I've
Well,
only
all
been
of us
to
get to
Canada.
travel like you, Danny. What the hell?
I know, right? Canada's the only place that I've been to outside of the continental United States.
No, I had to hook up. My wife was working for American Airlines for a while, so we had to. Definitely had to hook up on
you
flights.
gotta use that, bro. You gotta use that.
We definitely had to hook up on flights. But
That's my next move, is to befriend somebody that works for an airline. So I'd be like, hey, listen, I'm trying to go to this show. What's good?
All right, last question. How can we challenge you to a video game? Oh.
Name a video, like any video game?
He said you name the game.
Name a video game. All right, so then I would say I want Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the Super NES.
Yes.
I put in work on that game, okay? Like that was my game. That was my game.
I feel like I could pick that back up today.
Of course you can. The muscle memory, baby. The muscle memory is there, like 1,000,000%.
Sure.
All right. Well, this is our time. Wait, do you have a question or no?
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So this is our time. We're going to do quick takes, which is a rapid fire questionnaire with Danny. This week's episode of Quick Takes is going to be brought to you by Madison with one Y, but it's not where you think it is. And Agents of Geekdom. This weekend is the launch of Agents of Geekdom, and we are launching it with a bang for FSK Con Day. I can't remember what it is. Damn it.
FSCon.
FSCon.
I got you.
So go check it out after our show is over. They have a bunch of programming. But let's go ahead and start Quick Takes.
Let's do it.
And now a word from our sponsor.
And now back to the show.
Here we go.
All right. So, if you've never seen Quick Takes before, Like Kyron said, this is a rapid fire Q&A question. I didn't even have to do a deep dive into your social media, to be honest with you. I feel like I know enough about you to ask you some interesting questions.
Let's go.
But you'll have 45 seconds off the top of your head to answer these 5 questions. And I'm kind of interested in hearing your answers here. All right, so this is my new standard question that I ask all creators. And in 45 seconds, I want you to tell us what are the best and worst parts of creating.
Oh my God, what a crazy question. Best parts are getting to make your voice out there, other people's perspectives, opinions, their understandings of things. The hardest part is being confident at all times that what you've put out there has value. Even now, I still struggle with that. Like I will have, with all the things that I do, I still have times where I'm like, does anybody care? Why am I doing this? Does it matter? And I'll have people that can actively say like, no, Victor, I do this because of you and da-da-da. And I still have that little thing every once in a while that goes, you're not that sweet. You the hardest. You little soft, bro. Like that's the hardest part.
Nah, man, I'm telling you, there's a rapper that I follow. There's 2 rappers that I follow. Fonte Coleman from North Carolina is one of my favorite rappers. And he talks about that a lot in his music, where he doesn't know, if his impact is what he believes it should be. But like I tell you, I listen to, his music and I get inspiration from it so much. Nice. And you really never know how much you're just you being you on a day-to-day basis inspires other people. Yes, I like purple a lot. I'll take that every day. All right. So question number 2.
Number 2.
I want you to tell us why you hate Little Shop of Horrors.
Whoa. I love Little Shop of Horrors. What do you mean?
Yeah,
no. That's like literally my favorite. Oh, I was about to say, like, yo, that's my favorite musical. Like, hold on. Who you been talking to? They got it wrong. Listen, not only do I love Little Shop, I love all the different variations, the actual movie, the alternate ending of the movie, the play. I got to give a big shout out to my buddy Brian Peters. We were out of high school, and he was like, "Yo, I want you to come to my brother's play." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, of course." Like, now, mind you, I'm black, he's white. He kind of grew up in a more rural area of the city. And he was like, "Have you ever heard of Little Shop of Horrors?" And I look at him like, "That's racist, bro." And he's like, "What do you mean that's racist?" I was like, "Why would you ask me if I've ever heard of it? Like, it's Little Shop. Like, are you serious? Get out of here." It was so fun.
Bruh,
so fun.
Tashina Arnold was in it, man. Come on now.
Right. Pam too. Like, come on.
Bro, come on. Me and you, we shared that, man. Little Shop of Horrors is probably my all-time favorite musical. And I recently had my kids sit down and watch it, and thankfully they appreciated it too.
Listen, if they didn't, they can't be your kids anymore. Those are my rules.
That was my decision. I was either going to kick them out or they were going to, I was going to put them in the wheel. Question number 3. Right. Me and my anime nerds, we always debate this because I was the first one to say that Naruto is a better anime than Dragon Ball Z. Okay. We all grew up on Dragon Ball Z and we loved it so much, but the plant is a demon. No, it's not. Stop it. Don't talk about Audrey too like that. So I want to know, Goku or Naruto, which is the better anime lead?
Naruto is definitely the better anime lead because Goku's not even the best character on his show. I'm Team Gohan. I will say that all day, every day. I'm Team Gohan, have been from the beginning. So the idea that the main character is not necessarily the best dude is always stuck with me. Naruto has not always been the best guy, but he's always like tried to be, and he's reached that level. Like, look, I'm gonna be Hokage. Like, I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's been saying it since he was a dumb little kid, and then when he actually gets there, it's a beautiful thing. So Naruto gets that hand for me, but I do have to acknowledge and admit that Naruto builds on what Dragon Ball Z built. So you can see a lot of the missteps that Dragon Ball had, and Naruto dodges those artfully and respectfully. If Dragon Ball had its own run, it would be top notch.
Facts. As a follow-up,
this might be the first quick takes where you use 45 seconds for every question.
You know what this is?
I got the time, man. I got the time. I'm gonna use it.
You know what this is? I love it though. So, as a follow-up question, how do you feel about My Hero Academia so far?
So I don't like My Hero. My Hero is a show that I've never got. Like, I've tried to watch it. I don't.
That's all. Yeah, we
All right.
don't need more.
I can do the rest of the quick takes if you want.
We don't need no more. We don't need no more from the hardest working man in comics. It's unnecessary. We don't even need to have him on the rest of the show. We're ending that anyway. We're ending that anyway.
I'm being honest. Look, Mike has tried to get me on My Hero. My daughter's tried to get me on My Hero. There's just something about it I just don't love. So I'm like, this one just isn't for me. You would think I could, but it's not for me.
Have you seen the movies? Have you seen any of the movies?
Yeah. Like I'll take my daughter to go see them, and still it'll go over my head, and I'm still like, I'm here for you.
If the second movie didn't do it for you, then hey man, it might just not be for you.
That's my place. I hold that. I'm like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it just didn't click for me.
Because I had never seen it before. My children had tried to get me into it, and and they were like, "Oh, the second movie is coming out. Can you take us?" I took them. I'm in the theater dying, like literally, I'm dying in the theater. And I'm like, yo, these kids, like whoever made this,
put in the work.
They put in the work. But all right. So my last question, and if you watch the show, I always have our panelists do a top 5 off the top of their heads.
Wait. You have question 4, dude.
Oh no. I'm sorry. Yeah, question 4. I skipped right over.
Listen, once you kicked me out, he was like, "Nah, we're done. We're done with
like we're done. We're done with the show."
Because I really don't need to do the rest. It's cool.
Okay. So question number 4. So, you are known as the hardest working man in comics. I want you to tell us about that hardest working legacy. Do you believe that hard work is more than talent? There's a saying that hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard, or something like that. Do you believe that? And what is your view on your legacy as the hardest working man in comics?
Wow. Okay. So I definitely believe that, because a lot of times people that are talented don't necessarily know that they're talented. All they know is that they can work hard and they can get stuff done, and they don't necessarily associate that with a particular skill. I've been that way for years. I've had a lot of people tell me I got the thing, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. So I try not to even focus on what that might mean for somebody else. Do my thing. In terms of my legacy, I'm the guy that always says yes, right? Like if there's something that can be done, something that can be tried, I'm going to try it. And I want that to be the legacy of the hardest working man in comics, because that's what that's all about, is to say, yes, you can figure this out. All you got to do is put in the work, and you can figure it out. You can make a way, you can open up doors, you can change lanes. Just do that. That's what it's all about. So yeah, that would be what my legacy is.
I love it, man. I love it. It's almost like you do this for a living. Like, it's almost like
just a little bit.
It's almost like you've done this before, right? Terrible.
That's a fresh question, though. No one's ever asked me that. No one has ever asked me that.
Hey, I try to bring something new.
It was solid. All right.
All right. So number five. So as you know, I do another show called Top 5 Live with Javon and Morgan. So I always have our hosts do a top 5 off the top of their head. So I want to know, with all the people that you've ever paneled with, that you've always had discussions with, I want to know who is in your dream top 5 panelists. So people you've never done before, who do you hope to work with someday?
Number 1, Robert Kirkman. Never done anything with Robert Kirkman. I've never ran a panel with Mark Miller. He's my friend and mentor, so I would definitely love to do that. I would love to get Kevin Feige on the chopping block and talk to things about him. I've done Joe Quesada, so I can't say that anymore. I would say Kevin Smith, actually. I've never actually worked directly with Kevin Smith. I've worked with a lot of adjacent people, but not him directly. And then Shonda Rhimes is like a huge one for me. She actually she has a familiar connection to the Ohio State University, and that's right here in town. So I feel like I could do it, but I've never done it. But Shonda Rhimes would be,
I love it. Now it's out there in the atmosphere, man. It's out there in the universe now. We're gonna make it happen. We're definitely gonna make it happen.
Let's do it,
man.
Yeah. So is there any way you can talk to Miller to be on our show? Because I had reached out to him last year through Twitter, and I think this was before somebody took over his Twitter account. Okay, he was personally doing it himself, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll be on the show." And then someone took over his Twitter account, and they won't respond. Yeah.
So send me your email. I'll email him, and I'll put that on there for you.
I was actually half joking, but yeah. I mean, I wasn't joking about. Wait. Time out. I wasn't joking about the interactions. The interactions actually did happen that way, but I didn't think you'd be like, yeah, send me your email. I did.
Again.
Fan Expo.
Have you met our guests before?
No, I thought you was really asking.
Have you met our guests before? I mean,
if you can really do it, okay. We have our 50th episode coming up soon. So if you can really do it, then we'll do it.
A quick story about Victor Dandridge, man. A quick story, and I'm gonna put you out right here, bro, because I'm still astonished. I'm still astonished. My daughter, my lovely daughter Kendra, I took her, to the show, to GalaxyCon in Raleigh. Like I said, Victor got tickets for us, and when I literally couldn't get tickets in my own state. I live in North Carolina. I couldn't get tickets to get in the show. Vic got us tickets, and then proceeded to have a panel for DS9. He had a panel with two of the actors from Star Trek DS9. Okay. An hour, this dude masterfully interviewed these two actors with amazing detailed questions, intricate fan knowledge, that stuff that I never even heard of. And I'm a fan of DS9. I love DS9. It's my favorite Star Trek series. I talked to Vic after the panel. I was like, yo, man, how much studying do you do to prepare for these, prepare for these shows? He was like, I've never even seen the show. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what DS9 stands for. I couldn't tell you. And I'm like, how? What?
Wait. Okay.
I'm still, my mind is
wait. Back up a second. Have you really not seen DS9 at all?
No, I've never seen DS9. Now, I was a Next Generation guy, right? Okay. That was my thing. I was Next Generation because I'm Star Trek over Star Wars.
Facts, Moana.
Yes. Because that's the thing is, okay, so let me see what I can learn about a character, about a show, and then based on what I've learned, what can I ask you that would interest me to watch the show? Okay. And these are kind of the things that I do. Like, I'll see things that people talk about, like, oh well, this character, oh God, I can't even think of his name right now, the actor's name, but he had wanted to play his character Garrick as coded for homosexual. And at first, like, they were kind of doing it, and then they kind of backed off of it. And so I'm like, well, how do you feel about that? He's like, dude, I wanted that so bad. And I guess like no one had ever asked him about it, but it was something that I had read, in my research about, his character and the portrayal. Right. And that's what he wanted to do. And I was like, yo, that's dope.
And when he's asking the question, during the panel, he's asking the question, I'm like, I never, like, because the actor is describing the scene of just him placing his hand on the shoulder of another character. And I'm like, yo, I never even realized that's what they were doing in the show, but it makes perfect sense. Okay. And Victor is just like, oh man, I can't believe the detail.
That's my job. That is my job.
So Victor and I do the same thing then, because that's almost everything I do every week for the show. I'm not gonna lie. Probably 75% of the guests we've had, I've never read any of your books until afterwards. So
terrible.
Yeah. Terrible. No, but listen. Sometimes the thing is can I do the job well enough? Yep. So when it comes to me at Comic Cons, a lot of times I'll have so many different guests that I'm supposed to interview. I can't. Like, I physically cannot have watched everything. Yep. Like, it's not possible. GalaxyCon was a prime example of that one. I had the crew from DS9. I had Carrie, who, I had Ariel. Like, I've definitely watched that a ton. But no, not Ariel. She was Jasmine, Princess Jasmine.
Oh, Jasmine.
But I had
I'm sorry. Princess Jasmine.
Princess Jasmine.
Yeah. Princess Jasmine.
Listen, and I told her straight up. I was like, look, you're my third girlfriend. Okay, you're my third girlfriend. See, so here's the order. First, I was dating Jim, right, and I broke it with Jim for She-Ra, right, and I dissed She-Ra for Princess Jasmine. I'm just saying, like, this is. So listen, like, it's good to see you again. I've missed you. You know what I'm saying?
I've missed you so much.
But no, Kerry Jones. He's on Book of Boba Fett. Never seen Book of Boba Fett. Never seen it. But we could have a great
So again,
will you stop kicking the guest We're almost at the end of the show.
Okay.
Kicking the piss out of the show, Kyron.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, I've never seen it, but we can still have a great conversation, which is what the goal is. Like, that's always my thing. Yes, I have worked with Lisa Turtle. Yeah.
Love
All right.
Love it. All right, Kyron.
Awesome.
We're done. We're done. Kyron.
Yeah, we're done.
Let's get out of here.
No, but we did have one more. And we did not have time to get to the controversial stuff that.
Oh,
we can run it real quick. We can run it.
See, that's how Big does, man. He gets engaged in conversation and then not let us talk about the controversy that he was in last week.
Let's do it.
Okay, all right. So
that he stepped in.
Vic and I had a conversation about this.
Yeah.
It was a big controversy that we saw on social media, and I want to bring it up. Why is it that turtles hate black people?
Man, let me tell you, because you didn't see about this?
Bro, the TikTok with the turtle.
Listen. We had this whole conversation about how, if you think about it, turtles don't like black folks, right? We had this understanding, like, okay, so the first turtle to wear black was considered a bad guy. What are you saying? What are you saying, right? All these other colors, you think they'd be a little bit more embracing, a little bit more accepting. Turtle puts on a black headband, you a bad guy. You a bad guy. What does the Foot Clan wear? Purple, yes, but then black. And that's what makes them bad.
See?
That's what makes them bad. That's all I'm saying. Splinter was a racist, bro.
Shredder was really the good guy in all this. He was being racially profiled.
The whole time. The whole time.
I'm not even messing with y'all on that.
I'm just saying, like, you telling me a rat from New York only knows white artists from Europe? Like, that's it?
Yeah.
Like, that's all that's all he's got? No
Basquiat,
Basquiat, dude? He couldn't
name a Basquiat. Not a Basquiat turtle.
He couldn't get a Basquiat in there?
Come on, Basquiat turtle. What? Terrible.
He even brought Venus on there. I mean, man, the one female, he's like, yeah, European still.
Right. You see what I'm saying? Not Frida, right? Like, he could have picked anybody.
A rat from Japan. Okay, never mind. All right.
Who lived in New York? He lived in New York.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And it wasn't even like the best parts of New York too. So you knew there's some people of color around him, but no.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, we're gonna have to have Victor on a second time because there's too much we got to go over, and we're running out of time because FSK Con is continuing and our time is up. But before you go, where can everybody check out your work?
Definitely find me online at vantageandhouse.com. We've got amazing books from all ages, teen, young adults, mature titles. We've got a little something for everybody. The thing I'm most proud of is I've written everything that's there, and that kind of catches me up because I'm like, yo, that's like 30 plus actual issues of content from Vantage In-House that we've written. If you are a creator or you want to be a creator, please check out ucreatecomics.com. That's the letter U-C-R-E, the number 8, comics.com. Stop it, Danny. Where we have some amazing supplies to help you make your own comic universe from start to finish. We actually teach in schools, and that's something that we're pushing real heavy to utilize comic books as a bridge to classroom fundamentals, because I think that's very, very important. I was a kid that didn't like to read until I got into comics, and I like to promote that aspect of the comics medium to anybody and everybody. And of course, at Vantage In-House on all forms of social media, and patreon.com/HWMIC, the hardest working man in comics. So that way you can keep me on my toes about what I'm creating and learn as I learn what it means to be the hardest working man in comics today, every day.
Thank you, sir. All right, Danny, where can everybody find your work at?
If you're looking for me or for our comics, Ace Blade, Lumberjacks, or King Supreme, the best place to go is our website, fourthwallpros.com. If you want to follow me on social media, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Kyron, where can people find you?
You can find my work at tauruscomics.com. I am on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok now, Facebook at Taurus Comics. Even though TikTok is still broke and you don't see anybody's work that you're friends with, so TikTok, you still need to fix that. But if this is your first time checking out our podcast, go to our website, fourtailspodcast.com, listen to some of our past episodes, and check out everything that we have available. But join us next week where we are going to have Brandon Calloway, writer, Brandon Calloway, I should say, on our show. But until next time, sayonara, goodbye. Please take care of yourselves, and turtles, stop being racist.
Music provided by my brother, Quicks Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.